Stop reading Russian literature. Here's why. Specifically, Dostoevsky has been recommended to me thousands of times on the internet and in person. I think it's probably the most read classic today. Dostoevsky is. I've seen him, everybody I've seen in person is reading him when they're trying to get into the classics. And I feel this is wrong because this Russian body of work has replaced, it's usurped the English tradition. And I'm going to speak to you from an American as an American. Russian literature is not our tradition. We have a whole tradition separate from them of English authors who are even better than Russian authors. And yet, the Russian works have overtaken ours in popularity and people reading them. And so we're completely with our hand out of what our tradition is into a different tradition, which is wrong for this one reason. Dostoevsky is speaking through translation here. He's speaking indirectly to us. So it's not direct communication. Having the author talk to us. And so this, for one, lowers the pleasure level that you can get from a Russian work. Though, I mean, I definitely have enjoyed reading Dostoevsky. I think other authors, specifically English authors, have spoken more to me just because it's direct communication. So I have a book that I want to recommend you that's not Dostoevsky, that's written in English. Ironically, it's not an American book. It's a British book. But an American, I think, can appreciate this. Even if it's from the British tradition, it's at least written in English. And that's just what I want to bring people back to, reading books that were originally written in English and not Russian works. And the book that I want to recommend is The Moon and Sixpence by Somerset Maugham. This is a pretty easy book to read, though it has the same essence of philosophy undertoning it. This is a book that you should read, not Crime and Punishment, especially because the person that's reading Crime and Punishment is just getting into literature. So I don't read Ulysses by James Joyce. Read something that is a little bit easier to keep your attention on. So this book is about Paul Gauguin, who was a painter, and this is basically a fictional biography of him. So it's not really Paul Gauguin, but it's definitely based on Paul Gauguin. And it's from the perspective, the narrator is a young writer, so we could say, oh, that might be a portrait of Somerset Maugham as a young writer. But it's about this guy who the writer meets at a party and thinks nothing of him. He's a normal guy, he's boring. And then a few years later, he gets a letter from that man's wife who says he's left us. We don't know where he's gone. He's gone to Paris, I think. Go find him and bring him back, please. And it's about this guy who is fed up with convention and is ready to start making works of art and commits his life to that in Paris, which is where most of this is set, where he does some eccentric things, and it teaches you a borderline Nietzschean way of living where it's above morals and it's above convention and it's all for art, is what the guy representing Paul Gauguin, whose name is Paul Strickland, And if it helps the book's credit, I haven't read this for over a year, and I remember that the guy's name is Paul Strickland because the book, it hit me so well. So I think you should read this book. He ends up in Tahiti, and it's of this author's fascination with this guy who leaves his conventional life and lives the way that he wants to, which is in poverty and struggle and